What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Fresh Review. If you're new to the channel, what we do here, we do a WWE video every Wednesday. So on Wednesday we do wrestling videos. Last two Wednesdays we've been doing tier lists. We did a tier list for all the women. We ranked those from F to S. Last week we did a tier list for all the men on Monday Night Raw. And today we're doing a tier list for all the men on Friday Night Smackdown. Now, to do this tier list, we looked at 5 things. 1. How's that wrestler booked? Are you winning matches? Are you losing matches? How much airtime are you getting? Are you getting any airtime? That's one thing we looked at. 2. Your in-ring ability. How good are you in the ring? Can you have a great match? Or normally when you go out there, you're limited in your moveset. Your matches really aren't all that. That's another thing we looked at. 3. Your mic skills and your character work. Can you cut a promo? What's your gimmick like? Now 4. Your audience connection. Wherever you're out there, does the audience react? Do they boo you? Do they cheer you? Now, there's some people that get booed when they're not supposed to get booed, and they can't handle the boos. That's a different story. If you're getting booed as a heel and you can still handle it, that's good. And then 5, what is your star power? Are you box office? Are you must see? Do people know who you are? If you're walking down the street with people like, oh, you're so and so. Can I get an autograph? Can I take a picture? Or would people just see you and be like, oh, you're a Fresh Review. Nobody knows you. So those are the 5 things you look at. Now, we break this down into 6 categories, going from F tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, and S tier. So we're going to start at the bottom. In F tier, I really have no comment for these people, and there's 5 people here. And it is Apollo Crews, and you guys see in the background have 30-man Royal Rumble, so most of the people in the tier video will be in the background going on. Apollo Crews is at the bottom of F tier. I can't remember the last time he had a match. I remember he did do some backstage stuff where he's cutting promos in the back, but that's that. Then the next 4 people I have in F tier are all the members of the Wyatt Six. So it's going Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, and Uncle Howdy. Now, this is if they're in single matches, by the way. So the Wyatt Six is more of a tag team. So if they were in a single match, they really don't have a chance, in my opinion, to go up the card or anything, because WWE doesn't even know what they're doing with them. WWE had them return after Mania. It was epic. Everybody loved the return. They don't give them the tag team titles or anything. They have them feud with American Made, or it might have been Alpha Academy at the time before they changed their name. Can't remember exactly. But Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, they're feuding with them. They go over those guys. Then they have them feud with Karrion Kross and AOP, the Final Testament. But then they have them lose to the Final Testament, so you derail their momentum. And then you fire AOP, so the Final Testament isn't even there anymore. And then we haven't seen them since. And this happened months ago. So right now, the Wyatt Six, it's going to be tough to revitalize that energy they had with the crowd and all that. Right now, it's kind of tough. Now, that's the F tier, no comment. Like I said, I'm not sure these guys wrestle. They're really not a threat. They're worse than the D tier, but only so slightly, because the D tier is the certified loser tier. That means that these people are in a one-on-one match, you expect for them to lose. You can almost guarantee it. Now, we're going to start at the bottom here, D minus, and that is Tonga Loa, the ever so infamous Tonga Loa. It's been out for a while. I believe he hurt his bicep, tore his bicep at War Games. So he's been out for a while, but even when he was there, he was one of the worst signings. Well, probably was the worst signing out of all the new bloodline people they brought in. When you think of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, Tonga Loa was definitely the odd one out. Was tag team champion, but they kind of gave him the New Day treatment. Had him, not even defended. They had Jacob Fatu fill in for him because Fatu was better and more must see. So you know how they had the New Day with Big E, Kofi, and Woods. You'll never know who the 2 tag team champions were because they used all 3 of them as champions. They basically just kicked Tonga Loa out and replaced him with Jacob Fatu. And I'm all for it. Now we're going on to another tag team, and this is Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. So pretty deadly. As a tag team, I think they're decently okay promo wise. Gimmick, I'm not really all for it. Crowd reaction, it's so tough with these tag teams because as I looked at the Smackdown tier list, I saw that they really don't have that many single competitors, at least compared to how many tag team people they have. So all these people are in single matches. It kind of be a really bad singles division, and I think you kind of see how bad the division is because a lot of these feuds leading up to Mania aren't really that great in my opinion. And then you think of the tag team division. There's like 5 teams that they just keep cycling through with DIY, Pretty Deadly, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, and El Gondo La Fantasma, and so and so. I might even be missing some. We get through all of them out here, but there's so many tag teams here and so few single matches. Where Smackdown going to 3 hours has been a drag in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But I got Kit Wilson and Ellen Prince here. Solid wrestlers in my opinion, but as single competitors, definitely wouldn't be feeling it too much. Right above them, I have Berto and Angel Garza. So Humberto Carrillo, I believe his name is, and Angel Garza, 2 wrestlers for El Gondo La Fantasma. If I said that right, my apologies. I took French, all right, so bear with me now. My Spanish isn't all the way there, but Santos Escobar's goons like them a little bit more than Pretty Deadly, but not too much in general. It's all the same thing with these tag teams. Right above them, in D tier, I'm going to have a current tag team champion, and that is Angelo Dawkins. Now, Dawkins is not right by his tag team partner. I believe he's the only one here that's a little separated by his tag team partner. All the other tag teams are kind of neck and neck right by each other. I got him right here at D tier. We haven't really seen him have too many solo matches, and he does. Is they do like a tag team match, but they split it up where, all right, Montez Ford will fight one guy this week, and then next week Angelo Dawkins will fight the other guy of the tag team, right? I remember they used to do that. And then Dawkins, in a singles match is not really all that. But as a tag team champion, right now I think they would try to protect him a little bit more than these other tag team champions. So I have him slightly above, still in D tier, but he's not D minus like the other guys. And at the top of D, at D plus, I have the king of the certified losers, our king, our truth. This man is hilarious. Love our truth, without a doubt. Our truth. He's in a match. You know he's gonna lose, but he's gonna do something very entertaining. Everybody loves our truth, man. One of my favorite wrestlers in the business. Now that's the end of D tier. Now we're going up to C tier. So C tier is the mid card contender tier. These people might be able to go on and compete for a U.S. championship, but you wouldn't really expect for them to win it. But they could go out there and contend. These people, starting at the bottom, C minus, another tag team, Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley. I'm a huge WWE fan, but I'm just a huge wrestling fan in general. I watch a lot of TNA. I remember when the guys were in TNA, still as the Motor City Machine Guns. They never broke up then. I don't see them breaking up now. They're just like a tag team forever type stuff. So in a singles match, maybe they'll protect them. And I just can't see them being broken up at any point. The only thing I could think of, like maybe if one of them gets injured, then they have one go for single matches, just to buy time till that person gets back. But I don't see them ever winning any gold, but I got them at the bottom of C tier. They've been protected decently well since they made their debut on the main roster. Now, right above them, at C tier, the middle of C tier, we have Tama Tonga. Man, be sounding like a chainsaw starting up. I don't know what's wrong with this man, but Tama Tonga, kind of like the workhorse of the new bloodline. He did a lot of the matches. He would start the War Games match. He would start this match here and there. Took a lot of nasty bumps. He's the one that got beat up the most, I feel like. Cause, they wanted Solo and Fatu to look dominant. So Tama Tonga was the one that took a lot of the bumps. But overall, I think Tama Tonga on his own, solid mid C tier person. Right above that, we have somebody that has competed for the U.S. Championship over the past year, and that is Santos Escobar. So Santos Escobar, I really liked his change of gimmick, or I don't want to say change of gimmick. I like the Escobar C that he was doing. It's the plum the LA Knight, yeah, and we'll talk about LA Knight later. But Santos Escobar, really liked him. Thought I having solid matches with LA Knight. Really enjoyed the feud there with him and LA Knight. Like Santos Escobar, leader of his faction, cut solid promos, very entertaining. I think Santos might be slightly underrated. I got him right here in the middle of C, but I could see him even going up higher to C plus perhaps in the future. Maybe even B minus B area. Maybe he could go into that next tier, but we'll have to see. But right now, I really do like Santos Escobar. Got him right here in the middle of C. Right after Santos Escobar, we have Shinsuke Nakamura. So Shinsuke Nakamura was the most recent U.S. champion, and they had him return. I thought he returned too early. He returned and then dethroned LA Knight. And I think that kind of was the right decision to have him dethrone LA Knight. And the reason why is you're going to have somebody return and then go right after a title. If they don't win the title, you kind of kill the return, right? So they had him return, dethrone LA Knight. The problem is LA Knight's title reign wasn't that good because he kept feuding with Andrade, Carmelo, and Santos Escobar over and over, and those aren't really like big names, stock, movers or anything like that. So you feuding with those guys, so the title reign kind of dragged on against those people, and then kind of was underwhelming because there's nobody that's really a threat. Then you have Shinsuke comes back, and you don't want to have Shinsuke lose, like I said. So I feel like LA Knight should have more time with the U.S. title. Kind of had a short-lived title reign. They give to Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, I'm not even sure he defended his title more than once after he won it, but he fought LA Knight, and then they give it back to LA Knight. Well, LA Knight was so over with the crowd and all that, so LA Knight has now become a two-time U.S. champion. And but Shinsuke Nakamura, I think, kind of dead in the water right now, unfortunately. I don't know where he goes WWE wise. I'm not sure his contract's coming up or not. I think I might have read somewhere that it is. I don't think they re-sign him. I don't want to say it's time for Shinsuke to hang it up, but his WWE career, right, might be coming to an end. Cause right now, he tried to come back with the new uh, character stuff. He had the mask he was coming on, spitting out blood and all that. But I knew Shinsuke was done when they had him come out in the Royal Rumble, and like he's the U.S. champion at the time, and he's eliminated like in 2 minutes. I think eliminated before the next participant even comes out. So that's very very bad in my opinion. But after that, we have The Miz, somebody that has been champion, Grand Slam champion before, but that is a long time ago. The Miz got him right here, solid C tier. Really like The Miz, of course, because promos, he can definitely cut those. Everybody remembers the Talking Smack one with Daniel Bryan. But even now, him and the Mellow Don't Miz stuff, all the promos they do in the backstage and all that, doesn't wrestle nearly as much as he used to when he's a workhorse. But Miz still in the ring, okay-ish, but on the mic, still great. It's the Miz C tier. After that, we have Andrade, who's kind of the opposite of the Miz. Doesn't really talk too much promo-wise, but I do like his drip. When they like the Andrade El Idolo, whatever, he's coming out there with the suits and all that. Doesn't really talk too much, but in the ring, fantastic to watch. Uh, I still remember the triple threat matches, him, LA Knight, Carmelo. And that triple threat match came about because him and Carmelo Hayes had a best of 7 feud. So Andrade goes up 2-0, then Melo fights back, and then they eventually tied up 3-3. So they got LA Knight being the special guest referee for Game 7, right? Match number 7. Everybody's lit for it. And then I thought it was an absolute debacle what they did, where they had LA Knight just not even officiate the match or anything. They just ruin it. It's like a no contest, so at least to a triple threat match. But Andrade, he does his no look moonsault on the LA Knight. You think he's about to flip onto Carmelo in the ring. He just jumps backwards and lands on LA Knight, who's outside the ring. I'm like, he is so spectacular. He's an aerial wizard. Rock with Andrade heavy. Great move set. I still love his top rope moonsault, but then the wrestler moves, so he just lands on his feet, then does another moonsault. One of my favorite moves. It kind of does get overused a little bit, and think I talked about this with Braun Breaker with the top rope Frankensteiner, where you see him climb to the rope real fast, and then does the top rope Hurricanrana. And, it's spectacular to look at. It might be getting overused a little bit here and there, but, I mean, it's just a great move in general. Andrade also has a great Spanish fly he does. His moveset is so fantastic, in my opinion. But that's Andrade, got him right here in the middle of C tier. If he is better on the mic, he could go a little bit higher. But after that, we have C plus here. Now, this is tricky because we have a tag team here, and that is DIY. So, DIY, I have Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano here. And it's very tough because I've seen both these guys at NXT. I know what they're capable of in a singles run. Where the other tag teams, you don't really see them too much in single matches or take them serious if they are in single matches. But I think if these two guys were to ever split, this is where I would have them. Top of C tier, without a doubt. And then they could definitely climb up, even B tier. They even hinted at a tag team breakup, but then they end up swerving everybody. And then they bonded together. It was all a plan by Tommaso Ciampa for them to dethrone Motor City Machine Guns and become tag team champions again. So I thought that was a great swerve there. They lost their titles though to the Street Profits after having the title for a couple months or whatever. But here they are. I got them at the top of C tier. And right above them, I have the Street Profit. I don't think a lot of these tag teams are like 1A, 1B with their partner and stuff. It's a 1-2 situation, in my opinion, with the Street Profits. And we've seen this when Montez Ford was in Elimination Chamber a few years ago. I thought he did spectacular in that match, had an awesome showing. And I think that solidified him as being the better part of the Street Profits. I think he does good on promos. I like Dawkins as well, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me twisted or anything. But I think Montez Ford is the star of the tag team. I'm happy that they're tag team champions. But I do have Montez Ford. He was gone a single run. I got him the top of C plus, but I could see him going up to B tier. I think a lot of people after the Elimination Chamber show that he had a few years ago gain appreciation and respect for Montez Ford and kind of wanted him to go on a singles run. But Montez Ford, he a day one, he a real one. He said you don't want to be leaving his partner behind because he probably knows if he does go on the singles run, there's a chance they fire Dawkins or whatever and say, oh, we don't need you anymore, Dawkins, whatever. Stay with his dog through thick and thin after like nearly 4 years, or maybe over 4 years, not sure exactly. But they haven't been tag team champions for a very long time. They finally regained the gold. And I can't wait to see what they do at Mania because I think they are more than capable of stealing the show. So I forgot to say this, but I know I said about F tier, so I'm going to start here again on F tier. F tier had 5 people in it. Then D tier had 7 people in it. Then C tier that we just finished talking about had 10 people in it. Now the next tier is B tier. And B tier will have 4 people in it. And we're going to start at the bottom of B tier. And that is Carmelo Hayes. I have him at B minus. I have him slightly ahead of Montez Ford and those other guys. And the reason why is, although Carmelo Hayes has been losing a lot of matches, they also gave him some really impressive wins. One being the win he got over Braun Strowman, where, you know, it's not like he pinned Braun Strowman or anything, but winning by count out, I think you take the victory however you can get it with Carmelo Hayes. They have him win in like some clever ways and all that. I think Carmelo Hayes will become champion, U.S. champion, within a year. So this is a little bit proactive here. Now I'm kind of thinking out into the future, but I think a lot of people don't like how Carmelo Hayes been getting booked. Stay with me now. Carmelo Hayes will be champion. They don't want this guy to come out here and just win every match. But you go look, he's been fighting Cody Rhodes. He's been fighting Randy Orton, putting on good matches with them. They have had him competing for the U.S. Championship. They even gave him a best of 7 series, had him cutting good promos, lining him up with The Miz now. No, they're getting Melo a lot of opportunities. He's getting a lot of airtime and stuff like that. I do like Carmelo Hayes. I think he does have a bright future in WWE. I got him at the bottom of B tier right now. So B tier, I didn't say it, but this is the mid-card champion. So these are people I think that could become U.S. champion for Friday Night SmackDown. Now, right after that, we have Jimmy Uso. Big Jim. I got him in solid B. Jimmy has been getting better and better, in my opinion, throughout this year. Of course, go back to his Mania match against his brother. Very disappointing, in my opinion. I think what made it kind of worse is a lot of people might have different move sets. They have the exact same move set, so like it's just the same moves over and over. So that kind of made it bad, but very disappointing match nevertheless. He also, you go back even farther, he's the one that was supposed to be like kind of turning against Roman, but he never really turned against Roman. He kind of screwed his brother Jey Uso in his match and all that. I think that led to the Mania match, if I'm not mistaken, when Jey fought Roman, but then Jimmy for some reason interfered in tribal combat when there shouldn't have been any interference or anything like that. I don't get it all, but I thought, a year prior to this, if I did this tier list, no, Jim in the gutter. But Big Jim has been getting better and better. I like this little Big Jim gimmick he's doing, Big Brother Jim, whatever. And he went out there trying to defend his brother last Monday night against Gunther, or, about 9-10 days ago from when this video just came out. And then he got bloodied up in the process. I like how he did Drew McIntyre. I'm going to go try to punch my ticket to Mania and all that, cash my chips in. But don't get it twisted. If I want to say yeet, I can say yeet. If I want to put the no in front of the yeet, I can do this. He did the no, yeet. The crowd still yeeted. I'm like, all right, Big Jim on the mic. He's getting better and better. Trying to hype up Jey going into the Gunther match. Like I say, he went fought Gunther, got bloodied up in the process and all that. So that adds to it. So he's putting his blood, sweat, and tear for the business. You see it. But Big Jim, man, really do like him. He's improving a lot. And I could see a U.S. championship in his future. I have him in solid B. Now, the next 2 people I have at B+. Now, These two guys have been clashing at each other for months on end now. So at the top of B plus, I have Braun Strowman, who had a great year since he returned. Had him fight monsters upon monsters, and Braun Strowman, those type of matches. I think that's when he gets his best work in. Of course, they had him feud with Carmelo Hayes here and there, but those matches I think were just whatever. Because David Goliath, I don't think Braun Strowman's that great in the David versus Goliath type. But when you get two monsters and have them clash, Braun Strowman really does shine in that. So him and Bronson Reed loved that feud they had, where Bronson Reed just gave this man so many tsunamis over and over. But Bronson Reed lost the feud because Braun Strowman, with the help of Seth Rollins on the curb stomp on the steel steps, Braun Strowman was the last monster standing in their last man standing match. That was awesome. So love that for Braun Strowman. Could definitely see him becoming U.S. champion. He has been champion before, U.S. or world champion. Can't remember which exactly. But Braun Strowman. The only thing about Braun Strowman, really, in my opinion, maybe his mic work could be a little bit better at cutting a consistent promo. Right? Can you go out there and talk for about 5-10 minutes? Probably not. But when he does talk, they have him say a little bit, but it means a lot. So it's not horrible or anything on the mic, but there's that. But right above him, I have Jacob Fatu, the man he's been fighting recently, and they've been having a lot of clashes and stuff. Fatu been getting the better of him for the most part, but I think Fatu will probably be the next U.S. champion. I think he would be the one that beats LA Knight. I'm not sure if they're fighting at Mania or not. I'm going to look at the card, but I think LA Knight will probably end up losing to Jacob Fatu. I think Jacob Fatu's up next because you look at his moveset. The running hip attack always looks devastating. But the no sell, the reaction with the crowd, he can't even cut promos. They don't, like I said, similar to Braun Strowman. They don't have him say like 5-10 minute promos too often. I remember he did one. He got some nice sayings and all that. I don't think they're amazing, like all gas, no brakes. Nah, I mean, like he does something like that. I can't do it like Jacob Fatu or anything, but I mean the crowd likes it enough, so I think it's okay. And then but in the ring, the top rope moonsault, somebody that agile, moving like that, and he hits this moonsault perfect every time. Now, they had him mess up the moonsault twice. Well, at least I've seen him mess up the moonsault twice. But both those times, I think he messed it up on purpose, so then they could play like, oh, he tweaked his leg to get him out of the match for a while. Because the problem with Jacob Fatu is also one thing that makes him so great. He no-sells a lot of moves. So this man will get hit with an attack helicopter and enemies AC-130 above and get right back up after like nothing happened. So I remember in the War Games match, CM Punk does a patented knee strike in the corner, then does the bulldog onto a toolbox. And Jacob Fatu pops right back up and then gives CM Punk a Samoan drop. It's cool. I didn't like the toolbox one, don't get me wrong, but it's cool when he does it on like regular moves. It wasn't on the toolbox, just maybe on the canvas. Okay. But the problem with that is, how do you keep this man down when he can pop back up in 2 seconds, right? So they normally have him just do a moonsault, mess with the moonsault, tweak his leg, and now he can't move. Something like that. They did it in the tag team match, if I'm not mistaken, with him and Solo versus Roman and Cody. So, stuff like that. They try to come up with ways to get him out of action. But overall, Fatu, I think, is fantastic. I got him at B+, but I think he will continue to climb, and next year be A tier, maybe an S tier. Definitely got a potential to go all the way up. Now that concludes B tier. Now we're going on to A tier. In the A tier, these are the world contenders. These are people that could go on and contend for the WWE Universal Championship, but they probably won't win or anything. I have 3 people here. So we're going to start at the bottom of A tier. And we have L.A. Knight, the current U.S. champion right now. We have seen him contend for it before. Him and Roman's feud, I thought was solid. A lot of people always want LA Knight to win, so I think LA Knight, his reaction with the crowd and all that, his ability to cut promos, gets him so far over. In the ring, I'm not really that huge of a LA Knight fan, personally. I don't think he's bad or anything. I just think he's like kind of above average or anything you could say in the ring. But his promo work, character work, I think all that stuff is fantastic. Love the megastar as U.S. champion. But I don't know what's after U.S. champion. Let's say he loses the title again. You're not going to try to make him a 3-time U.S. champion, are you? Do you bring him over to a different brand, make him go after the IC title perhaps? Because I mean, I got him at World Contender, but I really don't ever see him winning the World Championship. Right? He might get one. I don't know. We had to wait and see, but this roster is so top loaded in my opinion. So many megastars. No pun intended on LA Knight, but we had to see. But current U.S. champion right now. Right after that, though, we got another A minus person, and that is Solo Sikoa. He has gone after titles before, hasn't won them, but he has gone after them before. Pinned Cody, pinned Roman, pinned John Cena. There's not many people that can say that. He might be the only person that can say he pinned that trifecta of people. Those are three people that are some of the best to ever do it, and definitely some of the best of this generation. So they definitely value Solo. They gave him some big wins. They didn't give him the win he needed, though. I think he needed to become the true tribal chief and all that. Now that he lost to Roman, it's like they haven't really done anything with Solo. And then Roman won that match and then kind of just vanishes, right? He doesn't even show up that much anymore. It's part-time Roman. You know, Roman been going through some things, and of course everybody knows about Roman's health. But, you know, he lost some family members last year, too. So it's a tough year for Roman and all that. But it's like Roman was, missing a lot of time. Solo was there week in, week out, right? So I mean, maybe reward that and have him win, and then see how Roman can go out the Ulafala, whatever. WWE Universe, will you be my tribe? Something like that. I don't know, but I think Solo probably needed that win more than Roman to gain more credibility. But ever since he lost, kind of just been right here, A minus still. Now in middle of A, we have Damian Priest. So Damian Priest, El Campeon. I got him in the middle of A. I think WWE likes him more than I do, unfortunately. You go look at Damian Priest, his title run. To me, I liked his matches. I just hated all the finishes about near. Because he fights Drew McIntyre. And I think it's a great match, but Damian Priest wins that match. Why? Because CM Punk comes in here and interferes. Then he fights Seth Rollins. He wins that match, but why? Because the referee doesn't count. So Rollins should have got the victory. Then Drew McIntyre comes in. He tries to cash in his Money in the Bank. But CM Punk comes in, screws Drew McIntyre yet again. So there's that. Then what else happens? Damian Priest fights Gunther, then he loses the title. So, granted, he got screwed by Finn Balor. But, I mean, you look at his title reign, in my opinion, because the endings for all those matches were so bad. It's tough to rank his title reign anything higher than like C or D. So bad title reign in my opinion, but I like him as a wrestler. But then he comes back and he's just punking Gunther over and over, and they got Gunther looking like a pansy. Granted, they finally redeemed Gunther and got him looking dominant again. But El Campeon, I think he's okay-ish. I liked him with the Terror Twins. I think him and Rhea should have went longer on that Terror Twin route. But truth be told, I don't even know. Because, like, they had Damian Priest 1v4 in the Judgment Day. He was taking on Finn Balor, Dirty Dom, JD, and Carlito, and still coming out on top. Like, it was actually crazy seeing him take out all those people. So, I mean, I just think he's kind of overbooked, right? But, I mean, overall, though, solid dude. I got him in the middle A. Now, those are only 3 people in World Contenders. We have 5 people in World Champion. So, the last 3, they could go out there and contend for the Universal Championship. Probably would have won it. These next 5, they all could win it, and I would have no problem with it. I'd be happy for them. They deserve a long title reign here. Now, we're going to start at the bottom of 5. Well, bottom of S. Number 5, Kevin Owens. KO was phenomenal. And the problem with KO is that he became great at the wrong time. So, this is Cody's first title reign. They don't want to have Cody lose the title reign without it being a memorable loss or anything like that, right? But let's say this is Cody's 4th title reign. I wouldn't have been surprised if they just had KO since he is so over with the crowd. Well, maybe not over, but so hated by the crowd because all that shit he's doing in the ring with the package power driver, putting people on the shelves for months on end, stuff like that. If they gave him the title, right? They had him and Cody fighting this feud and all that. And I feel like these are normally the spots where you look in WWE's past. They might gave KO the title. They might play a little bit of hot potato with it. Where Cody retains the first one, they run it back. KO gets it for number 2. and then Cody wins it back for the third match or whatever. They might play a little bit of hot potato there, but I think that'd been awesome. They don't want to really do that for Cody's title reign, so that's what was so unfortunate for Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens was awesome during that whole feud with Cody Rhodes, and then you understand the logic behind it because he's like, "Why are you teaming up with Roman Reigns?" And then he's mad at Randy Orton because Randy Orton's not agreeing with KO, so it's like, so you're siding with Cody on this. You think it's okay? So I mean, the logic behind it was so awesome. I love Kevin Owens. I think this is the best Kevin Owens has ever been. Unfortunately for KO, he might be on the shelf for a year himself with a neck injury. And I look at some of those bumps he was taking throughout the matches, like those are nasty bumps. I didn't like seeing them. They looked bad and all that. And I'm surprised he took a bump against Cody, the Alabama slam through the ladder. And then a couple days after, he's attacking Sami Zayn. I'm like, how is this man still walking? So I'm not sure his neck injury is legit or if it's just a story they're trying to tell. I think it probably is legit though. I would hate to see WWE, joke about that stuff. They've been doing a great job. They've been doing a great job, like blending the lines of fiction and reality, so you don't know what's real and what's not. But I think that's something you probably shouldn't be joking about, especially with so many wrestlers having serious neck injuries in years past. But that's number 5. Number 4, we got Randy Orton, the legend or the legend killer, whatever you want to call him. Still got it at his age. Can still go in the ring. One of the best to ever lace him up. 14-time champion. I wanted to see him versus Cody Rhodes. But my next video will be a WrestleMania prediction video. And I don't think we'll see him versus Cody for the Universal Championship. Maybe we will, maybe we won't next year or something. But I don't think we'll see it this year because right now I'm thinking John Cena will become 17-time champion. So it's unfortunate we've never seen the Cody versus Randy feud. A lot of people want to see that. And there have been hints of it throughout where Randy Orton and Cody, they're talking and Randy looks at the title like, maybe you think of something to reward me with for helping you out against the bloodline and stuff like that. But, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get it because Triple H doing all this long-term booking. Then you just miss the things that happen right in front of you that could be short-term booking. But that's Randy Orton, though. Still great. Right after Randy Orton, though, at number 3, we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the final boss. We saw him have the tag team match last year at Mania. And a tag team match, of course, is different than a singles match. Because singles match is just you and that one person. Tag team match, you need a breather, just tag out. Roman could do a lot of the heavy lifting and stuff because Roman's more in ring shape wise than The Rock. But The Rock still over as ever, still great in the ring. Fantastic on the mic. Actually, I'm lying about fantastic on the mic. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of Rock's promos, let me know what you guys think about the Rock's promos. The man goes out there, he just starts yapping about nonsense for a long time. And there's a lot of times where he's just yapping and yapping and yapping. And this is apparent when it took him forever to ask Cody for his soul. It's like, yo, bro, just ask him out already. Like, you feel me? Just get right to it. And then, what else? After Mania, the crowd chanted, "This is awkward," when Rock handed Cody something. But we still don't even know what he handed Cody, so I don't even know what that's all about. Maybe it's a note asking for a soul all the way back then. Long-term storytelling, right? But that's that with The Rock. I also will say this. I did enjoy his promos where he did on his IG Live or on X, whatever it was, that were away from WWE camps, where a little bit more unfiltered and stuff like that. Didn't have to worry about censoring. I think those were great. He also, said a lot of curse words or whatever during his promos and all that. So, I mean, he's the final boss. He does as he please. I love that gimmick about him. But he is to come out here, contend for a championship. A lot of people want to see Rock versus Roman. I was one of those people, but I'm glad we got glad we got Roman versus Cody instead. But overall, I think Rock, he wants to come out here, contend for a championship one last time. More than deserves it. Hey, I'm all for it. Now, we got the top 2 people, the people that met in the past 2 WrestleMania Day 2 main events. Roman, Cody, who's 1A, who's 1B. And to me, I think it's a no-brainer. Cody Rhodes is the number 1, so that means Roman Reigns is number 2. Roman is number 2 because, A, he missed so much time. Where Cody been there day in, day out. Roman been missing time. So I think that's the biggest difference maker between the two. That made it kind of easy. But it's great to see Roman is able to go from a heel, a super big heel, final boss type stuff. Well, no pun intended on The Rock, but he is like the arch nemesis of the whole entire company. Now he's the most over guy in maybe CM Punk's a little bit more over, but everybody chants OTC every time he pulls up. So That's just him taking a hiatus and coming back. You don't know what you missed until it's gone, right? So that's the Roman Reigns, the OTC, the Tribal Chief. Like I said, I don't think he really should have beat Solo, right? But that's a different story. Not mad he won against Solo. I just like to see what Roman would do without the Eula Fala, right? Did the Eula Fala make the man, or did the man make the Eula Fala? And then we got Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes is slightly overhated. I see a lot of people yapping about his title reign not being that great or anything. I think Roman's title reign was legendary. Absolute S tier. Might have dragged on a little too much because he wasn't defending it nearly as much as he probably should have towards the past year and a half. Well, the last year and a half of his title reign, whatever. So that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, he already beat most of the locker room. So I mean, who else is there for him to fight? Cody's title reign after that, anybody's title reign after that is going to be tough to beat. But you got to look at all of Cody's matches. I think they've been fantastic. Look at the feud against AJ Styles. Two fire matches, in my opinion. He had three great matches against KO. He fought Solo. That was okay-ish and whatever. Had some tag team matches. I mean, I got no problem with Cody. Well-deserved person to dethrone Roman. And I think WWE made the 100% right decision because he's a workhorse. He's able to cut promos. He can do it all. So, that's Cody Rhodes. He's number one in my opinion for Friday Night Smackdown. And that's the end of this video. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys on the next one, our WrestleMania 41 prediction video.